What if I told you that in just a few hours you could completely transform your old scratched furniture into a modern statement piece? That's what I set out to do with this huge thrifted dresser I picked up for $100. It looks solid, right? But here's the thing, it's not actually solid wood. This dresser was probably built in the last 10 years, so it's more of a modern manufacturer piece, not a super high-end one. But the style really caught my eye. And when I saw it, I instantly knew it would be perfect for a viral trend that's been blowing up lately, painting the dresser black while keeping the base stained. I love this look gone viral by Shabby Chic Furniture Flips by Angelina. I love the contrast of the black with the stained base, and I was really curious what you'd think of it too. So let me know in the comments, do you love this viral look or is it not your style? My goal was to make this a really quick makeover, something I could pull off in a day, maybe two, but still end up with a smooth, professional finish that's durable enough to sell for top dollar or keep for myself and be proud of in my home. Now, before we could even think about paint, this dresser had some issues to fix. If it was in perfect condition, I honestly could have hammered this out in just a single day, maybe a little bit more, but sometimes little things need attention if you want the final result to look high end. The biggest issue was the top. When I ran my hand over it, I felt the rings pressed into the finish. And my best guess is that someone left a candle burning, the jar got warm and melted the finish, and then spilled across the surface. It had completely melted down through the finish into the raw wood. Not only would those rings have shown through the paint, but if any wax residue was left behind, the paint would never stick. So like it or not, I had to strip the top down. Believe me, I didn't want to. I would have loved to skip it and save some time, but sometimes skipping a step means you're just asking for problems later or you're settling for a DIY look. Before I stripped anything though, I did the one prep step I never skip: cleaning. You never know what's on old, used furniture. Wax, grease, polish, who knows what else. So I scrubbed everything down with my favorite cleaner and a damp rag, focusing especially under that one area just in case any wax residue was left over. And while I cleaned, one drawer wobbled back and forth. After pulling it out, I found the drawer track was loose and wobbly. But that's a quick fix. I grabbed my electric screwdriver, which has a rotating head that's perfect for tight spaces, and tightened up the screws. 2 minutes later, the drawer was solid and sliding smoothly again. These tiny fixes really add up in the end. I also noticed two drawers with veneer issues. One where the veneer was lifting and another where a chip had exposed the plastic underneath. Yeah, you heard me right, plastic. The base of these drawers is actually plastic with a wood veneer on top. Not high quality, but that's what makes thrifted furniture fun. You can still make it look like $1,000,000 with the right approach. Anyway, I fixed those up and moved on to removing the finish on the top. I tried using my sharp scraper on the top first, but the finish was just too slick and stubborn. It barely budged, except for in the already damaged areas. So I pulled out some stripper that works fast. I brushed it on and almost instantly the finish started loosening. Within a minute, I could scrape it off easily. I am still blown away by how fast this worked. And honestly, each section of this dresser only took about 10 minutes to strip. It was so much faster than sanding, especially on the curves. And then I went about my own business while the wood dried. When I first started flipping furniture, I thought stripping was just stripper and a scraper. Turns out, if you don't have the right supplies to go with it, you end up frustrated and stuck. That's why I put together a free supplies list and a step-by-step checklist, so you know exactly what to grab and when to use it. It's all those little things you wouldn't think about until you're knee deep in gunk. Grab it in the description or up above so you can save yourself the headache. The next day, I gave the raw wood a light sanding. just enough to sand off any remaining residue and smooth it out. Now here's where tools make a difference. When I started years ago, I used this budget-friendly DeWalt orbital sander. It's aggressive, it works well, and you can hook it up to a shop vac with an adapter so you're not drowning in dust. It will absolutely get the job done. These days though, I use a surf prep sander. It's lighter, easier to control, and with the foam pads, it glides over curves like butter. Not to mention, its shape makes it so you can get into corners perfectly. It is a bigger investment, but if you do a lot of projects, it is so worth it. For beginners though, this DeWalt is plenty. I vacuumed up all the dust, wiped it with a tack cloth, and we were ready for the fun part, stain and paint. Here's where the viral trend comes in. I stained the base first because I wanted that crisp two-tone contrast. I stained the base first because that's what I wanted to do. I mixed up a custom water-based stain using special walnut and a bit of Fusion Mineral Paints Bayberry. The green helps cancel the orange undertones in the wood, so I'd get a neutral brown stain. Water-based stain dries fast, which is a blessing when you want a quick project. I applied it in small sections, and within an hour it was dry. Then I taped off the fresh stain using delicate frog tape. That is important. Regular tape can pull your stain right off. Delicate tape protects the work you just did while still giving those crisp, sharp lines. Next up, paint. For speed and durability, I used Beyond Paint in the color Licorice. This stuff is designed to stick without sanding or priming, and I've tested it a few times before. Even on slick surfaces, it holds tight. I poured it into my sprayer, which is, by the way, a fantastic budget sprayer. It sprays thick paint like Beyond Paint just as well as my $1,300 professional sprayer. Seriously. I sprayed a test pattern, adjusted my settings, and then laid down the first coat. And I panicked. The paint went on with so much texture. I thought that I had ruined the dresser. I didn't remember this happening when I tested it before, so I didn't know if I messed it up or not. I just finished spraying and I am a little bit concerned, if I'm being honest. When you look really close at it, it looks so textured. The last time that I sprayed this paint on just as a practice, I did not thin it. Very, very similar circumstances, and it dried very, very level. So fingers crossed that it's going to level out because this is way too textured. I hope this works. But within a few minutes, it started to level out, and by the time it dried out, it was mostly smooth and beautiful. That's the magic of spraying this paint. You get fast, full coverage in just minutes. Brushing and rolling this massive dresser would have taken hours, and it would have been covered in a ton of texture. With the sprayer, each coat took less than 5 minutes with very minimal texture. I applied 2 coats, letting it dry in between. I wasn't stuck painting for hours. I could go do other things with my Saturday. That is the beauty of spraying. This is why I will only brush on paint for you. For my own furniture, I am spraying it as much as possible. With a sprayer, you get a streak-free coat in minutes instead of hours, and it looks like it came straight from the factory. If that sounds like magic, I made a free sprayer cheat sheet to show you exactly how to get started. And if you want to skip the guesswork completely, my Spray Like a Pro mini course will get you there fast. Smooth, durable results without the stress. Once the black paint was done, I sprayed on 2 coats of water-based satin Topcoat. This step is optional, but it's what makes the finish almost bulletproof. It resists scratches, makes cleaning easier, and adds a touch of sheen that helps the finish look flawless. A matte finish, while very pretty, gets marked up with even the lightest touch. Then I attach the original hardware. These knobs are perfect for this piece and thankfully not weird like some vintage hardware can be. It looked perfect. The black paint made it pop, the hardware and the stain balanced things out, and it gave the dresser that elegant finished look. Guys, this is so good. It turned out so good. I love how the hardware balances out the base. I was honestly not sure about the base color. It looked so good in the pictures from my inspiration, but before I had the hardware on, I was like, I don't know. The hardware balances the piece because it matches the stain on the bottom, and oh wow. Guys, this is awesome. Okay, 2 days, and I took $100 dresser and turned it into something that I could easily sell for $500, $600, $700. Some markets could sell for over $1,000. Like, you go to the store and buy a piece like this, you're gonna spend over $1,000. And it was $100 plus the supplies and 2 days, actually less than 2 days. It was like 10 hours at most of me actually working on this. This is so good. It looks so good. And it's gonna be a statement piece for whoever has it. I wish I had a spot in my home because I love it. It matches perfectly. And there is so much storage in this piece. It's so good. From a dated cherry wood, scratched up $100 dresser to a sleek, modern, high-end statement piece. The black paint and stained base combo completely transformed it, and the finish is durable enough to last for years. The whole makeover took me about 3 short work sessions, about 2 hours one evening, 3 hours the next day, not including the dry time for the stain or paint, and a couple of hours the next day to spray on the top coat. If I hadn't had to fix the top or the random repairs, it would have been even faster. For more transformations, behind the scenes content, and monthly Q&As, join me inside my new Paint Like a Pro Club on Patreon. It's where I share extra tips and give you direct access to ask me your questions about your project. Now, if you're ready to see the bigger story behind why I still paint thrifted furniture after all these years and why it's been such a game changer for me, go watch that video next. I'll meet you there.